All right, last time in part 4, we talked about side, 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 and side, angle, side congruence. We're going to add two more to the toolbox, and those are angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. So first, angle, side, angle, that's when you have two angles and the included side. You know how side, angle, side, the angle was the included angle. It was between the two sides. In angle, side, angle, the side is now between the two angles. It is the included side. And then there is angle, angle, side, where it is two angles and the non-included side. So that's the difference between angle, angle, side and, angle, side, angle, is that the side is included in angle, side, angle. It's between them, whereas angle, angle, side is not. So let's look at example here. Given L is the midpoint of WE and WR is parallel, so when it's parallel, we'll put the arrows here to ED. Provide the reasons. So why is WR parallel to ED is given to you. Why is angle W congruent to angle E? That's because notice they're alternate interior angles. Notice you have a Z shape with the parallel lines. So that's the alternate interior angles theorem. Why is L the midpoint of WE? Well, that was given to you. So then why is WL congruent to LE? And that is because of the definition of a midpoint, because if you have a midpoint, it divides it into two congruent segments. Why is WLR, so right here, congruent to ELD right here? Notice those are vertical angles. So the vertical angles theorem. And then why are the two triangles congruent? Well, you have angle, side, angle. Angle, side, angle. So it's angle, side, angle congruence. Why don't you look at the next one, number 37, see how you do, and then we'll go over the answers. All right, if you look, first one is given because WR is parallel to ED, that's given to you. Angle R is congruent to angle D because those are alternate interior angles. You have like a Z shape. The next ones, those are vertical angles. And then L is the midpoint because that's given to you. And then WL is congruent to EL because of the definition of midpoint. And then notice you have angle, angle, side. The side is not between the two angles. So that is angle, angle, side congruence. All right, 38, it says AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to CB. All right, so AB is parallel to CD, AD is parallel to CB. Why is angle ABD, so ABD is here, congruent to CDB there, and that is because of the alternate interior angles theorem. BD is congruent to DB right there because of the reflexive property. Angle ADB, so right here, is congruent to angle CBD right here because of the alternate interior angles theorem. And then why is the triangles congruent? And it's because you have angle, side, angle congruence. All right, let's look at the next one. It says, given, complete the following. So you have angle ADB is given to you, that is congruent to ACE. So ADB right here. This angle is congruent to angle ACE. Notice here's a situation where you have overlapping triangles. So you have this triangle here, and then you have this triangle here. So you have two triangles basically. If it helps, you can draw them separately. Like this would be A, B, D, and then this would be A, E, C, like that. So what it's saying here is angle D is ADB is congruent to angle ACE. So here and here. And the reason why that is given, EC, so EC right here is congruent to DB right there, that's given. Angle A is congruent to itself. Notice A is the same in both of them because that's the reflexive property. So notice you have angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So that's why triangle AEC is congruent to triangle ABD by angle, angle, side congruence. And then the reason that angle E is congruent to angle B is because of CPCTC, because now that the triangles are congruent, all their corresponding parts are congruent as well. All right, so the next thing, it says the curtain decorating the window forms two triangles. So there's one right here, and then there's one on the other side right there. At the top, B is the midpoint of AC. AE is 13 inches. So AE is 13 inches, and CD is 13 inches. And since it's the midpoint, those are the same. BE and BD both use 17 inches of material. So which method would you use to prove the triangle is congruent? You would use side, side, side congruence, because you know all three sides are congruent. All right, so now to look at the picture, you want to complete the congruent statement and provide the reason. So here it says triangle WX, let's do it this way, WX, so WXY, so this triangle here is congruent to triangle. And if you notice, you have angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. So it would be this one over here. Match up the W with the V. So it would be V, whoops. So it'd be V. And then the X with the Z, Y. And it would be by angle, side, angle congruence. All right, so then the next one, it says VWZ. So VWZ, that triangle, would be congruent to, and then so we have this other triangle right here, the other side. So now we have to match up the corresponding parts. So since V comes first and V has one mark, W has one mark in that one. So it'd be W and then 3 mark. So then we have to match up W, which has 3 marks. And then 3 marks over here is V. And then the X comes next. And the reason, well, you have side, you have angle, angle, and then a side. So then next, the triangles, you have W, Y, Z here. So that'd be congruent to, it would be this one, so we just gotta match up the letters. So if it's W first, then it's gonna be V next. because V and W match up. And then X and Z, well, the Y's match up with each other, and then the X. And the reason, well, if you notice, you have angle, side, and then you also have vertical angles here. So it would be angle, angle, side. Congruence. All right, looking at 42, what congruent statement is needed to prove cat congruent to dog? Well, there's a couple that you could do. You could say angle A is congruent to angle O, because that would give you angle, side, angle. Or you could say angle T is congruent to angle G, because this would give you angle, side, angle, but this would give you angle, angle, side. Or if you wanted to do side, angle, side, you would have to say CT is congruent to DG. All right, so just to wrap up the 4 ways to prove triangles are congruent. The shortcuts: side, 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 angle, side, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. What 2 arrangements of A's and S's are not in the above diagram? Well, notice there is no angle, angle, angle. There is none of that. And there is no side, side, angle. All right, those are 2 that are not. There's one special one, to a right triangle, and that is what's called hypotenuse leg theorem. But that is the only time side, side, angle works is in a right triangle, and that's if you have 2 right triangles, and you know the corresponding hypotenuses and legs are congruent. Then you can say the triangles are congruent by hypotenuse leg. But that is the only time side angle works is in a right triangle. All right, so that concludes part 5 of our unit 4. Coming up soon, part 6. Have a good evening.